Hey friends, I'm back. So now I am going to be starting the coleslaw for tonight's dinner. I'm making a recipe. It's called Tangy coleslaw. It's real close to a traditional type coleslaw. So I'm going to be using our stainless steel mixing bowl, and I love these bowls. If you saw my video earlier, I was using the large one, but I love these bowls because they have the measurement markings on the inside there. So if you're doing a recipe that you need to be watching the amounts or whatever, you have a measuring guide in the bowl as well. They also come with a sealed or a tight sealing lid. So these are perfect for, if you're doing salads or something, you want to put them in your refrigerator, or if you're taking them with you. These lids, excuse me, these lids do keep their seal, and they're on there pretty strong. So anyway, I'm going to be using this to mix up my coleslaw, and I'm just using the pre-bagged coleslaw for a couple reasons. Number one, it's easier, but in today's environment, I've chose to only use, for the biggest part, I'm trying to only use produce that is pre-bagged and not just out for anybody to touch. So I was able to get this, and I had it delivered. So I'm going to go ahead and just, using my stainless steel shears, I'm just going to cut the tops off. I love those stainless steel shears. I use them for just about everything, whether it's something like this, or if I'm cutting, need to trim a piece of meat or something like that. They are consistently being used, and they keep their blade. I mean, I've never had to like sharpen these shears whatsoever. All right. So there we have 2 bags. Now I am making a double recipe because we will use this throughout the week. All right, for side dishes, and even have it with our lunches as well. So I've got 2 bags in there, and then what I'm going to be using is our salad choppers. Now these are called salad choppers. However, they are not just for salad. You can use these babies for barbecue, if you're chopping up your barbecue or something like that, and you can use these for what I'm doing for salads, or if you have larger pieces in your salad, you can use it for that, or if you're doing like tomatoes, it can just chop just about anything. I have talked to some people that they use this to chop up their small ones, dinners or whatever, because it just chops it much faster because of the double blade. So I use them in the down position for something like this, and the only reason, now this is already shredded, the only reason I am doing that is because a lot of times with the pre-mixed bags, there'll be some large pieces mixed in, and I just like to make sure I get them as fine as possible. And so by doing this, it's probably going to be more of a chopped slaw rather than a shredded slaw, which I kind of prefer that anyway. And I'm just literally just moving it around, and just making sure I get all the way to the bottom, and getting it cut up even more fine. Now, had I been smart about it, I probably would have done this after I put the first bag in, and then topped it off, and then ran it through the second bag. That way I wouldn't have to move it around as much. But I'm not smart, so there we have it. Okay, so now it's going nicely there. So I'm just going through, like I said, and getting the larger pieces, making sure there's no big leaves in the middle of the coleslaw. Which, I mean, if you end up with some leaves, that's fine too. But I just like to get it as fine as possible. We just enjoy it better that way. Now, some people would prefer to leave it, and that is okay. That's, again, as you heard me talking earlier, there's a lot of personal preferences when it comes to certain types of recipes. So I've got the coleslaw all chopped up, and I'm going to set it aside for a second. And I'm going to take my kitchen paring knife, and I'm going to peel an onion. Now, the recipe that I'm following calls for a half of onion for 1 bag, so I'm going to use the entire oven since I'm doing 2 bags. All right, and I'm just literally, getting that peel off. Just like that. And I'll give it a good rinse to get that fine skin off as well. Hey Arlene, glad to see you back. Okay, so now I'm going to just cut the onion into 8 pieces. So I'm cutting it in half, and I'm going to cut each half into 4 pieces so that it will be acceptable size to use with our food chopper, not to be confused with the salad chopper. All right, right here is our food chopper, and I love how that blade spins around as you're using it to give you that nice dicing motion. And you'll see you have full control over how fine it gets. You can have it like that. Now with something like that, I'm going to do it pretty fine, just so that there's no big chunks of onion in the mix of the coleslaw. So I'm going to chop on it a couple of times, just like that. All right, and then what's great about this food chopper is you can go back and run through whatever you've already cut just to make it a little bit more fine. Now I'm just going to run my knife in there to get everything out of there. All right, and I'm going to grab my handy scraper, and I'm going to take my flexible cutting mat, and I'm literally just going to scrape that right into the coleslaw. All right, and I'm going to put that all into my sink and grab another mat, and then this is our brand new mix and pour, and this is great for salad dressings. Now it does come with some recipes, however one of the recipes on here is for a cream-based salad dressing. So I will tell you that it'll probably be a good idea to write the recipe down or take a picture of it, because once you start putting your cream in here and your mayonnaise, the lettering is white, so you're gonna have a hard time seeing this. And the white was put on there by design, just for the looks or whatever. But I have found with myself, it's easier if you take a picture of the recipe and then have it, or write it down, and then that way you're not gonna have to try to read white through a cream-based salad dressing on the inside. But I love it. It is plastic, so it's not going to be as breakable. And then I love the fact that they've changed the lid to where it's not like a pump, but this actually you put it right in your refrigerator. It's airtight, so you can keep it, once you have it mixed, you can keep it right in your refrigerator and just have your homemade salad dressing ready to go. Or you can do it for something like we're doing and mix up a dressing for something like coleslaw and use the entire thing. All right, so for this, we're going to be using my low-fat mayonnaise again, and this is our measuring cup set. Love the fact that they all kind of snap together, so you're not always like looking for your measuring cup. And it comes with the 1/4, 1/3, 1/2, 2/3, 3/4, and 1 cup. So it's a set of 6 measuring cups. And like I said, they all snap together, but we're gonna start out using the 3/4 cup, all right? Because it's a total of a cup and a half that we're gonna use for 2 bags of coleslaw. So, and as I say on a lot of things, cup and a half. I'm not going to get upset if it's, you know, not exactly level or whatever, because it's a dressing. So at the end of the day, you know, if there's a little extra, it's not going to ruin the recipe. All right. So just like that, there's about 3/4 of a cup, and I'm putting it right into the mix and pour, just like that. And I'll clean that side up here in a minute. But I'm going to go ahead and measure my second cup, because as I said, it's a cup and a half total. So I'm doing 2 of the 3/4 cups, you know. All right. One more. Just like so. And now I'm going to put it into the mix and pour. Set this down so I can clean that side up, because I don't want it to like start going down the jar. Alright, and I'm just going to put the rest of it in there. Okay, and then next, I'm going to need a total of 4 tablespoons of lemon juice. And this is one thing I really love that we just released. This goes along with our Easy Read measuring cup, but it's our little miniature Easy Read measuring cups. It's 1/4 of a cup, but it also has your tablespoon measurements there too. So this is a 4 tablespoon measuring cup. All right, so I need some lemon juice. So I'm going to take my paring knife again, and I'm going to just cut my lemons in half. All right, and I'm going to start with 2 lemons, and I'm going to use the citrus press. I love this baby. Now, citrus press is a little misleading as far as, you know, you need to read the instructions, because by nature you want to put it in just like so. All right, that's not how it goes. All right, if you put it in like that and use it, you're going to get a bunch of citrus juice in your eye. Don't ask me how I know that. So then you're going to put it in what feels like upside down. All right, and we're going to squeeze it right into the measuring cup there. All right, and then there's your lemon peel. So I'm going to do that again. Like I said, we're looking for, you know, we need to have about 4 tablespoons of juice. Just like, and this is great for lemons if you're doing like Mexican food and you want to have something for your fresh lime juice. You could do that as well. And look at that, it gets so much juice out in 1.5 lemon, and I have 4 tablespoons, a little over 4 tablespoons of juice. So I'm going to go ahead and just pour that right into the mix and pour, just like so. And then next we're going to just do the seasoning, which I'm going to be doing 1 teaspoon of black pepper and 1 teaspoon of celery seed. All right, so I'm going to open those 2 up, and I'm going to be using our adjustable measuring spoon right here. This one is the smaller of the 2. It goes from 1/8 of a teaspoon all the way down to a teaspoon, and then the larger one goes from a teaspoon all the way down to a tablespoon. So I'm going to add in 1 teaspoon of each of these, just like that. And And again, right there. Okay, let me return these lids. And then, optional, I'm just going to do a little shake of cayenne pepper into the mix here, just to give it a little bit of bite, but not enough to light us on fire. All right, so I'm going to do that, and then get my scraper out of there. Actually, I should have gotten that scraper out of there before I did the seasonings, because a bunch of the seasonings are on the scraper. Alright. So now I've got to scrape the scraper. So I'm going to get all of those seasonings and make sure they stay in the jar. Just like so. Okay. Should be plenty enough. Alright, and then all I'm going to do is I'm going to put this lid on. Okay, now by habit, I kind of hold on to the top when I'm shaking, but I just take it and shake it up, and you'll feel it starting to loosen up. And I am going to keep shaking it a little bit more, just to get all those seasonings and stuff. Now, for something like this, it's a little bit thicker. You could add a little bit of milk to this mix or something like that. I'm just going to scrape it out if I need to. But then all you're going to do is, like I said, this may be a little bit too thick to pour it out of the mixing board, yeah. But if it was, you know, a mayonnaise based or whatever, you would be able to pour it straight out of that that spout. But this is a little bit thicker, so you know it wasn't pouring quite as easily as what I would have liked. So that's why I just opened the lid. All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my big old spoon here and mix this up, and that is the entire recipe. This recipe, you know, it says to let it congeal for about an hour in your refrigerator before you serve it, because once it all gets mixed together, the citrus and the mayonnaise and even the coleslaw will start to sweat, and it will kind of, you know, just make it a little less crunchy and, you know, more like a salad. So then I'm just giving that a good mix in, just like so. All right, and I'm gonna grab my jar, and I just want to make sure I got everything out of the mix and pour. I don't want nothing going to waste. Just like so. And really, I'm wanting to make sure that, you know, all those seasonings are going to be good mixed in with that salad and not at the bottom of my jar. Alright, so I'll give it one more good mix around. Now the one thing that I do at the very end, and it's not part of this recipe, is I add just a small squirt of yellow mustard. You can put it in with the dressing. For some reason I just don't. I just always add it in at the very end. But it doesn't. It's just to give it a little bit of a tangy bite. And then, if you watched my video earlier doing the deviled eggs, you saw me using the cool and serve trays. We have the cool and serve bowls now. This is the large cool and serve bowl. Does the exact same thing as the cool and serve trays in that it has the removable lid. And this is the bowl where your salad or whatever will actually go. Down below is a refrigerator or freezer safe tray that will hold the coolness. So if you're going to be having, you know, a salad sit out, whether you're doing a barbecue or if you're having people over or whatever, something like this is going to keep everything cool, and it's not going to be sitting out at room temperature. Especially a mayonnaise based salad, you want to make sure that, you know, you're keeping it, you know, at an appropriate temperature. So this is great for something like that. And I'm just taking that coleslaw and I'm going to spoon it right in there. All right. And then as the coleslaw sits in the refrigerator, now that tray at the bottom has already cooled down. I'd had that in the refrigerator for a couple hours already. But I'm going to put that whole bowl right back in the refrigerator, and it will continue keeping it cool. And so when I serve dinner, even though it's just the two of us, I can set it out on the countertop. We serve ourselves, and then I can put it right back in the refrigerator, and I don't have to worry about it sitting out while we have dinner. So that is the cool and serve with the homemade coleslaw in it. So if you have any questions about any of the products that I've shown today, whether it's this video or the video, the couple videos before, I would love to talk to you about them. We have some great deals going on right now in the month of April. We also have some great host specials coming up in the month of May. So I would love to talk to you about something like that. And you know, if you're interested in doing what I do, now is a great time to do it. Number one, for people that are, you know, having a hard time with work or whatever because of the obvious reasons right now, this is a way you could actually maybe make a couple bucks and not spend a lot of money to try to start it. We have a deal right now, becoming a consultant. It's through April 15th, but you could become a consultant for as little as $19.80. So I would love to talk to you about that if that's something you're interested in. And other than that, I just hope you have a great day. Stay safe and healthy, and keep watching. I'm going to be back here in a little bit, and I'll be making dessert for tonight. All right? We'll be talking to you soon. I appreciate each and every one of you. Bye-bye.